I love Nicki Minaj. She was here a couple of weeks ago. She's so beautiful. Her nails are like that long. I said, Nicki, are they real? She said, she didn't want to get into that.
In early 2026, Nicki Minaj stood next to Donald Trump, the queen of rap, draped in conservative talking points.
I am probably the president's #1 fan.
Trump handed her a gold card, a token, a reward for turning the tables on her own fan base, her own culture. Weeks later, she weaponized the Epstein files against Jay-Z, calling him a demon, pushing the conspiracy that Ho's a part of an elite circle performing weird acts for power. One problem, her husband is a page out of the same book who has to register wherever he lives. Her brother is serving 25 to life from a weird case. Her alter ego is named after Roman Polanski, a filmmaker convicted of inappropriate behavior. Why an artist would name themselves after such a character is anyone's guess. And her new political boss was mentioned in those same files more times than Jesus' name is mentioned in the Bible.
Because you are nothing but a pick-me. I choose not to pick you, and so should black people, and so should gay people.
She built the glass house, then threw stones.
You better pray to God you don't get stuck in Melania.
I have the utmost respect and admiration for our president.
How did the queen of rap end up here?
If I wasn't going to do it before, something happened a couple months ago.
What happened?
I don't want to talk about it.
This is the story of an artist who turned contradiction into a brand, building an empire on personas, backhanded collabs, and strategic amnesia, until she couldn't tell the difference between playing a character and becoming one.
Did I lie? Did I lie? Did I lie?
This is hip-hop's queen of contradictions.
You got cap in your raps. You got cap in your raps.
One of the main feats Nicki Minaj stands on is filling the gap created from a drought that spanned years after Lil' Kim and Foxy were two of the biggest female headlining acts in hip-hop. What can't be dismissed is the Theater Kid's epic battle through mixtape DVDs, where she worked her way to be a part of the most epic label at the time, Young Money Records. This achievement wasn't faintly mentioned. It became the foundation of her story, a story she wasn't shy to recant, to say the least.
I didn't do this for attention. Like, I didn't do it for, I wanted to explore the business and take it to where the guys took it, as a business woman.
My biggest fear was to come in the game and then be stagnated as just, female rapper from Queen.
This wouldn't construct an individual who mentored those after her. It hardened a bitter madam who became a gatekeeper of her own. It wouldn't take long for the contradictions to begin. Facelift, butt shots, registered SA offender as a boyfriend. Cap was becoming a business. The woman was built for politics.
Nicki Minaj, what's going on with
you? Nothing much. I had a great time here.
Precise when getting caught capping.
You say you've been here before? You always have fun. When have you came? I forgot the name of the club, but it was crazy again, just like this. This one is bigger, but it was a crazy atmosphere.
Throughout her career, she protected herself from being called a hypocrite by creating different personas that embodied different meanings. Harajuku Barbie, Chung Lee, Roman Zelensky, Red Ruby, and a list of others. These weren't just characters. It was legal defense. You can't sue a personality that doesn't exist. They became different shields for Nicki to hide behind while saying exactly how she felt. Throughout her career, she was quick to point out when men would use her aura as being one of the very few women in hip-hop to reign. And these monsters would become demons whose sole purpose was to destroy her essence of being a strong, independent woman in the game.
When it comes to emotional men and their hate for powerful or strong women, you never know how deep it runs.
All jokes aside, maybe the feminist Nicki was strictly for men. The misogynist bowed, but feminism had terms and conditions. She famously made the late Kevin Samuels, a controversial, often labeled misogynistic YouTuber, kiss the queen's ring in front of thousands.
Excuse me, Kevin, this is not... I'm talking to black women real quick. And I want black women to stop posting about whether or not y'all want black women or not. Okay, well, I want black women just to focus on themselves, be successful, and then you go out there and you decide the trajectory of your life.
As for women artists, every female collab had a timer. SZA got a BBL diss. Lotto got Grammy sabotage. Megan had a body-shaming crusade. The feminist icon had a woman problem.
Anyone who dares to uplift any other female rapper that's not Nicki Minaj is gonna be on Nicki's hit list.
She created a pattern of collaborating with other female artists, then quickly destroying them and their credibility. But it wasn't just the backhanded smacks that was appalling. It was the entire feminist movement being weaponized selectively. Contradiction as a policy.
Yeah, you can't come into this business attacking other girls and thinking you're gonna go somewhere.
I could take credit for one thing is just by showing girls that they don't have to fit, into anyone's cookie cutter thing of, who they should be and even who they should sound like.
The fake feminist cap showed his face when she quarreled with Megan Thee Stallion, coming up with all kinds of names that would absolutely be called body shaming if done by a man. She roasted SZA for having a BBL, forgetting she herself got butt shots.
I had never had surgery. I had ass shots.
She even threw artist Lotto under the bus after she had a song move to the pop genre instead of rap.
If you move Super Freaky Girl out of pop and put it in, out of rap and put it in pop, do the same thing with Big Energy.
Iggy Azalea, gone. But who's complaining about that?
Is when you hear Nicki Minaj spit, Nicki Minaj wrote it.
Master, she know the pants got spit like a pants. Her raptor bench, her did like don't like dash, her faster, mother like faster. He gotta get a bitch.
But Onika's worst nightmare will become true. The industry developed a clone that she would immediately recognize as her real replacement. The Cardi B patch entered the industry around 2017, also hailing from New York City, equipped with a similar facelift and a highly advanced BBL, along with ghostwriters to make up for her missing theater school background. Every personality, including Roman Zelensky, would eventually declare beef on sight.
Congratulations to a fellow New Yorker on a record-breaking achievement. Barty, this is the only thing that matters. Enjoy it.
But of course, not without first congratulating her clone on a #1 hit, Bodak Yellow, then a collab track called Motorsport. This is where everything took a left turn. The two would claim the other changed their verses up, jump-starting a beef that was bound to happen regardless.
That particular song I wrote in Paris about 1.5 years ago. It was actually for Drake's last album.
You know, when I heard the track,
Right.
her verse was in Finnish.
Was the first interview she did after Motorsport came out. And, people were saying that I was lying.
What would etch this rivalry in stone was an encounter the two would have at a venue over toxic tweets exchanged on family and failure. The encounter left a mark on both resumes, but notably a knot in Cardi B's head. The beef will be infinite, or at least until one of them ran out of wigs.
You ever thought of Donald Trump?
No thoughts.
These personalities weren't just for show. They were trial runs for the biggest pivot of them all.
But when I have an ego, I'm a bitch. So I'll be that.
But Donald Trump, he gets to hang out with young and have 50 different wives and just be cool. Oh, Donald, we love you. Donald Trump. But when you're a girl, you have to be like everything.
Nicki Minaj is debatably, in many ways, the greatest female artist of all time. The looks, the lyric, even album sales solidify her spot amongst the greats. She often compared herself to one of hip-hop's GOATs, Jay-Z. She opted in as one of the few artists to help Jigga get his Black-owned app Tidal off the ground.
We're gonna take a stand and we're gonna give people quality and great things and great experiences.
When Jay-Z sold Tidal to Jack Dorsey, it wouldn't be without allegations of scandals and disingenuous paperwork. The queen of contradiction would arise and declare that the corporate cat Jay-Z undervalued her holdings, which she claimed should be valued anywhere between 100 to 200 million. She was offered a measly 1 million just to keep quiet. This is from the same person who called Megan Thee Stallion dumb for not understanding her contract.
Says you must be dumb like Bigfoot. Went to college and claimed she didn't understand her contract.
Problem is, these allegations arose out of nowhere, and the timing wasn't accidental. Roc Nation had signed Megan Thee Stallion, which started friendly, turned toxic fast. After Megan's collab with Nicki, she did a no-no, a joint track with the nemesis, Cardi B.
Nicki Minaj is releasing a song called Bigfoot and is promoting it on Twitter using a picture of Megan Thee Stallion. Here's the artwork for the song. Responded to a fan who wrote this. She says, "You must be dumb like Bigfoot. Went to college and claimed she didn't understand her contract."
The war wasn't with Megan. It was with Roc Nation, Jay-Z. The same folks that she once called family. She really wasn't beefing with Jay-Z. She was beefing with her own obsolescence. And Jay-Z just happened to be winning. Onika will claim Jay-Z failing to choose Lil Wayne for the Super Bowl performance as an attack against Young Money when the NFL was set to arrive in New Orleans in 2025.
Denying a young black man with what he righteously put in the game for no other reason but your ego. Your hatred for Birdman, Drake, and Nicki got you punishing Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne, the GOAT.
While she made her claim on jealousy, others will blame her claim on coke, not cola. Lil Wayne's heartfelt cries online didn't help the cause.
I want to say I had to, first of all, I had to get strength. I had to get strength enough to do this without breaking.
NFL fire some niggas and then call us.
Hov, the same mogul she once praised as the best to ever do it, now those same sentiments were blasphemous.
I received a call advising Tidal was sold, and they made no money on the deal, so all they can offer me was $1 million.
What Nicki did was wrong. To bring up Tidal, that you didn't sign paperwork, and that's the reason why you left millions of dollars on the table?
Says, "You must be dumb like Bigfoot. Went to college and claimed she didn't understand her contract."
From calling the CEO of Roc Nation, Desiree Perez, a rat, to accusations of being shadow banned on social media, to challenging Des Bryant, a $10 million wager to fight her weird case-having husband, a guy that had problems handling meat mill. While the Barbs were used to Nicki switching personalities and personas, they weren't quite ready for her to switch sides entirely. But political contradiction isn't about policy, it's about power. And power requires a new audience when the old one starts to question you. Think about the domino effect here. Cardi B became close friends with Megan Thee Stallion, who signed to Roc Nation. Roc Nation is Jay-Z. Jay-Z runs NFL Entertainment and gave Kendrick Lamar the Super Bowl. Kendrick is the reason Drake is damaged, and Drake is Young Money adjacent. Every single enemy Nicki accumulated in the last 5 years traces back to one origin point, the moment Cardi B walked through the door that Nicki thought she had locked. The queen wasn't happy, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She didn't go Republican because she found conservative values. She went Republican because the other side had Cardi on it.
Kamala recognized that this country is at risk, that the cost of food and the cost of living is too high. Damn, it's even high for me!
Contradiction as a survival instinct. When your lane gets crowded, you don't slow down. You switch highways entirely.
I just talked to Donald Trump, and I told him that you were performing tonight. I asked him if he was a fan of yours.
Oh.
What do you think he said?
He probably said, "Who's that?"
No, he didn't. He said he's a fan.
Really? Donald Trump?
Surprise you?
Yes.
She didn't wake up Republican. She was built for it, one cap at a time. The groundwork started during the pandemic, ripped apart by left pundits while welcomed by everyday conservative voices.
I would love to talk to Nicki Minaj. Nicki, if you are watching this, come onto the show. Let's talk about everything.
We just want justice. That's all. We want justice. We want to feel like Americans. We want equality.
Treat me with respect.
The same voices weren't so friendly to Cardi, to say the least.
Treat me with respect.
Yes, with respect.
Respect.
So first and foremost, Cardi, I watched your story and it sounds very funny when I'm telling you the truth. And I think if anything, you're only upset because people are telling you on Twitter that you got dragged, because you did get dragged, because you are uneducated when it comes to politics. That's first things first.
A few tweets congratulating Tom McDonald and Ben Shapiro in 2024, and the message was clear. A change was coming. The first real shot in the sky came in late 2025 when she appeared on the Turning Point USA with Erica Kirk, widow of the late Charlie Kirk.
For those of you who know, Charlie was very good about having a surprise for every AmFest.
Crazy thing about this is Charlie himself wasn't a big fan of the woman.
I mean, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B.
Okay, Nicki Minaj is causing dads to leave the home.
Hold on a second. I don't think that's a good role model for 18-year-old black girls. I don't.
So why now have you been involved with speaking about politics? What was kind of the turning point for you? Yeah.
Suddenly, the same woman that told folks the Trumps were not inspiring were now the gold standard of beauty.
You better pray to God you don't get stuck with a Melania.
You have amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president.
Then she appeared right next to Donald Trump, reading from a script that she didn't write. But the audition was flawless. Trump didn't recruit Nicki, she auditioned, and the role controlled opposition.
Well, I don't know what to say, but I will say that I am probably the president's #1 fan. And that's not going to change.
The orange man also had to send her a shot immediately so she knew where she belonged.
Nicki makes a lot of cash. Not as much as Michael Dell. Not quite. Not as much. But that's okay.
And just days after, Donald Trump will pull the rug underneath her, posting a meme depicting the Obamas as monkeys. Not surprisingly, Nicki once checked Cardi for calling black women the same.
FYI, she refers to black women as monkeys and roaches. Roaches!
In return, Onika got a gold card. No value, no benefits, just vibes.
Nicki Minaj went online earlier this week bragging about receiving a Trump gold card and being one step closer to citizenship. But it turns out she was completely bamboozled, and here's what people need to understand. Because the White House just shut her down and released a statement denying that Nicki Minaj ever received an official gold card. As a matter of fact, a White House official told the press the card Nicki Minaj received was nothing more than a memento, which means it has no legal value and no impact on her citizenship process.
Nicki Minaj out there getting a train ran on her by Donald Trump now. They got her on there and everything. She jumped on Donald Trump's side trying to get a free card, and the card wasn't even real. You ain't going nowhere. Get on back over there.
All of a sudden, it started to sound like the two were attracted to each other.
Nicki Minaj is not here. She is not here.
I love Nicki Minaj. She was here a couple of weeks ago. She's so beautiful.
She is still at the White House with Donald Trump discussing very important issues.
Actually, Nicki, I have the biggest ass. I have it. Her skin's so beautiful. I said, Nicki is so beautiful. Her nails are like that long. I said, Nicki, are they real? She said, she didn't want to get into that.
The MAGA participation trophy came with the same terms as her record deal. Then she went full 4chan. When 3 million documents from the Epstein files were released, Nicki jumped on a report connecting Jay-Z to Harvey Weinstein, insisting Sean Carter was a part of an elaborate circle of abuse.
As they do their ritual tonight, God Almighty will reveal himself to them. The ritual will backfire on them. God will not be mocked. Blessed is the mighty name of Jesus Christ.
She called Jay-Z a predator. Her husband, her brother, her boss, all had files.
As well as something that he was wrongfully accused of doing when he was 15 years old. And when the alleged accuser wrote a letter to the judge asking to recant these statements, she was told that she would go to jail for 90 days, allegedly, if she recants the statement.
With one once claiming there are no files.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years.
She didn't throw stones. She detonated a grenade from inside the glass house. These claims will be pursued by the Barbs, and pretty much the entire Young Money fan base still salty from Drake being labeled a PDF in one of hip-hop's greatest diss songs ever. A song performed on the biggest stage of them all, employed directly by Jay-Z. No doubt a war was brewing. A close Carter family associate, Sir John, spoke on why he'd never work with her.
Seen her abuse so many of my peers.
When you say abuse,
I don't like my lip gloss. I'm going to wipe it on your shirt. I don't like that you saying, hey, after you set everything up to do an amazing video, everything is set, and now you say, hey, I missed my dad's wake. I have to go to the funeral. He's already dead, isn't he? I can go. I'm trying to give you the edited version.
Her first assignment from the conservative algorithm was a familiar target, Don Lemon. She did the most Republican thing possible, attack not just his politics, but his sexuality, a characteristic that makes up a huge portion of her own fan base.
Dance, nigga. I'm feeling my puss. I'm feeling my puss.
We know the feminism had terms and conditions, and apparently so did the gay rights support.
Nicki Minaj, stop talking about for which you know nothing about. This is out of your depth.
You called for Don Lemon's arrest over his church stunt in Minneapolis. He's since called you racist, unhinged, homophobic, and out of your depth.
You're not an African American. From what I know, you are reportedly an undocumented citizen, so you should be deported under Donald Trump's rules.
Anything you'd like to say to Don Lemon?
Sucker, stop.
Next thing you know, Don Lemon had the feds knocking on his door.
He was taken into custody early Friday morning in Los Angeles after attending a pre-Grammy party. He was seen being handcuffed while flanked by FBI and Homeland Security agents.
The Queen wasn't just a title anymore. She had real power, power built on cap, and being able to change narratives. I guess this new power she possessed would cause some to backtrack.
Y'all know I'm Mr. Accountability. You know, I say stuff and do stuff, and then I go to bed and wake up the next morning and, you know, being prayed on and thought about it. Just want to apologize to you, Nicki Minaj, for saying the stuff that I said. Want to apologize to your husband, your kids, all of that for saying what I said, you know.
But for others, she will remain powerless, with Kash Patel's FBI releasing a list clearing the Carters of any criminal activity. All this while it seems some sense of judgment is coming for those whose names appeared in the files.
Britain's former Prince Andrew has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. He is accused of allegedly sharing confidential information with the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Meanwhile, the Barbs are back playing victim.
Emergency announcement, they're getting ready to set up Nicki Minaj this week, most likely by tomorrow or by the latest on Friday.
The real question isn't whether she contradicts herself. That part is obvious. The real question is whether contradiction itself became the empire.
If you could host a dinner party with 3 people, dead or alive, who's sitting at the table and what are you eating?
I would definitely be eating Trinidadian food. Rice, roti, which is something we eat in my country. My other country.
But she didn't switch sides. There are no sides, just spotlights. And she was willing to burn every bridge just to stay in one.
Happy because, you know, Nicki Minaj has been trending, you know, over her.
The throne was never built on consistency, it was built on attention. And attention in her world is still undefeated. The queen of contradictions may not be finished. She may just be entering another form. And if history has shown us anything about artists who understand narrative warfare, it's this. The next contradiction is rarely smaller than the last. It's usually louder, riskier, and more calculated. Well, thank you for watching. Please join my Patreon to watch this, Unfiltered, and other exclusive projects that I have there. And please add me on Twitter and Instagram just in case something was to happen to this page, because you know how things can get sometimes. Well, anyways, you know how we like to end our videos over here at Moxy Approved, right? With that water. I'll see you here next time on Moxy Approved.